Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another Tales of the Mezzorin Zero episodes. Our, our session today takes us well away from the mainland of Enthate and to the archipelago south of the Merchant Sea, an area between the Soul Empire and Enthate itself. A vast archipelago of islands that are, for the most part, very lawless. A place where pirates and brigands and thieves and rogues and all sorts of ne'er-do-wells can come and go as they please, search for and hide treasure, battle it out and raid merchant ships and other official forms of transport and commerce. It's a place not fit for civilized people, but for people who routinely find themselves on the wrong side of the law out at sea. It is a haven for their way of life. And our scene today starts us on the high seas on a three-masted ship whose sails are currently caught in a warm southerly breeze. The ship's name is the Aching Wench. Its captain, Giselle Bridgewater, a human woman of mid-age, probably somewhere in her mid to late 40s, currently stands at the bow of her ship, looking out over the water, looking up towards the horizon. Meanwhile, her crew of a few dregs here and there, but also a few standouts, are going about their business. And one midshipman of note is currently coming up after having a bit of breakfast down below deck. And we'll start here, and Tim, take it away while I go and grab a drink real quick.
So, Miss Asati Noble Bright, she came onto the ship from a port in a faraway land, a land that was filled with much sand. She has since shown that she is indeed willing to work hard, and she is more than useful when the cannons start firing and when it is time to properly engage in her new profession. She steps up out from below deck to get a good bit of wind in her face, and she's wearing a hood currently, a hood that hides a certain light underneath hood, and let her hair properly blow in the wind as it glows like a fire. She kind of shakes it out a bit, runs her hands through it, getting rid of anything that may have been stuck up in there. She ran a comb through it earlier, but, well, you never know what can happen when you're on a ship. She dusts herself off. And she is still holding a biscuit in her hand as she kind of strides along the top, looking out at the ocean ahead of her, of which there doesn't seem to be any end. least as far as I know.
It's there are some hints of islands well off in the distance, but they're off of the port and starboard sides. Nothing directly ahead. They're not. They're not currently your destination. As you come topside and as you're eating the biscuit, as the wind blows through your flaming hair, a a loathsome yet familiar voice rings out behind you as the ship's gunner, Petribix Flywheel, a very a very figurative and literal salty dog of the sea. He's certainly come off in the time that you've been on ship as a very just bitter, vile, angry at the world goblin. Likely in all of your time, all of your life, you have never experienced a creature that just has so much hate that lives inside of them. And the going rumor on the ship is that Petribix is somewhere around 500 years old. He's lived well past his the prime of his youth, and yet looks barely over a day over 200 for a goblin. And some say that it's literally hate that keeps him going and keeps him youthful, because he will find something to hate every year, and he will simply say to himself, well, I have to absolutely destroy and hate this for another year, so I can't die this year, obviously. And as you're walking by, he just reaches up with his hook and takes about half of your biscuit with the hook without even looking up at you. Just walking on by.
She looks down at her biscuit, looks over at the hooked biscuit that he's holding, looks back at her biscuit, considers singeing the biscuit, but also realizes that would burn down the ship.
That seems to be most of Petrobix's antics towards you. Pulling things on you that you can't really retaliate with without damaging the captain's ship. Ah, late again for your topside shift. Maybe this week will be the week that the captain finally listens to me and throws you overboard, or at least puts you in something metal and glass so you can have like a lantern for the front of the ship, maybe be a guiding light.
Captain already has my personality for that, Petrie.
Well, your chores for today. I want you to listen up. Chores for today. Gonna need to swab the deck. I mean, I want it so nice I can see my pretty face on that wooden lacquered surface. After that, I want you to go below and start emptying out all the chamber pots. By that time, they'll probably be nice and ripe in the midday sun. After that, I want you to go to the galley and start peeling potatoes. We're gonna do baked potatoes for dinner tonight. Think you can handle that?
Yeah, I got it. You want the potatoes cooked? Because I can do that.
Nobody likes a show off, he says, as he just walks on by.
Nice seeing you too, Petrie.
It's Petri Bix. Petri Bix. There's two parts to it. Just because there's a comma in there doesn't mean you get to skip part of it. It's Petri Bix.
All right, Peter Bix.
That's what I thought. And as he goes on, a shadow looms overhead. As you look up, you see the ship's first mate, Brindilla Desmond. You know, I'm beginning to wonder if there's ever actually going to be a day where you just decide, screw it, and smack him in the face and most of the taste out of his mouth.
Nah, first mate. That's actually out of character. How would one refer to a first mate? Like, as she would refer to her respectfully.
As what?
How would one refer to a first mate respectfully?
If you're on a military ship, you could call her sir or ma'am. Most go with sir, but on a pirate ship, probably be all right with calling her Brindilla or by her surname Desmond.
Okay. Well, Brindilla, that's the game. He wants me to hit him first. I know that. But if I get him to haul off first, he'll know I win.
You're certainly banking a lot on him acting first.
That is the angriest man alive. I am but a fire in comparison to that.
He is probably the angriest man alive. Why don't you go up and talk to the captain and see what she actually wants you to do?
She'll crack a smile and say, you got it.
And so up do you go?
Yep. She shall go up and see the captain. I done forgot her name already, Vinny. I'm sorry.
Giselle Bilgewater.
All right.
She will definitely be captain or skipper.
Okay. Yeah, I figured I'd call the captain.
Yeah.
All right. You think you can do me a favor and throw some of the names in the side chat?
Sure.
Just because when it's easy when I just read them off. So yeah.
So you approach the captain?
Oh yeah.
As you make your way up to the captain, she's currently got a cigarette in between her teeth. And as she blows out the smoke and sort of...
she does start.
What?
Oh, my bad. Did you not hear me?
You kind of cut in and then you cut out.
Okay, I'm sorry. She said... I just said, yeah, she is going to go ahead and approach the captain.
Okay. Well, when you get up to the bow of the ship, the captain is... she's sort of resting against the railing. She's got a spyglass in hand. And she is currently she's rolling a cigarette, I'm going to say. So she's rolling a cigarette right now. And as she does that, she'll turn to you as she licks the paper. And she'll just kind of give you a smile. And her teeth are not exactly what one would call perfect. She's been out at sea for many years, so there is a hint of probably some scurvy there. So she's got kind of yellowing teeth. To an extent, she's also a smoker, so that doesn't help anything. And but she smiles all the same.
Yep. Asadi smiles back, and she does. She kind of does this. She kind of pats her chest a bit, like it's just a one-time thing. That's just how people from her country express, like, respect for someone above them, culture and shit. But she will say, Captain, there anything you need from a fire like myself?
She'll light the cigarette with a bit of tinder, and then toss it overboard, and then she'll take a drag off of it and blow the smoke off to one side. I want you up in the crow's nest today, and she'll hand you the spyglass.
All right, understood, Captain.
If Raina is correct about where we are, we should be making landfall before midday.
All right.
I want you to watch out. The reefs around this island are supposed to be shallow, so I need you to relay directions and warnings as we come up. And it's of the utmost importance that you're Miss Johnny on the spot. You understand?
Yes, Captain.
Good woman. And she'll give you a pat to the shoulder. Up you go, then.
All right, she'll nod, and she'll start making her way up to the crow's nest, which is, I assume, like the very top of the ship, yeah?
Yeah, that's all. That's the crow's nest.
Okay.
So, as you get up there, I'd like you to go ahead and make a perception check, please.
All righty. I had everything else ready. Not my dice roller. Not my dice roller.
Filthy heathen.
Okay, so we're going to do that. And my perception is that. Okay. Oh, hey, that's a 15.
That's a damn good start. All right, so yeah. As you come along, you can see an island off in the distance, right where Raina said it would be. And as the ship rocks and pulls through relatively calm seas, you have a really good sight on it. You can see that the island is, for the most part, covered in thick vegetation and a thick canopy of trees. There's a few hints of what look to be like ruins peeking out further off in the island. You do notice off to the west that there seems to be a storm rolling in.
All right. So the land, the land that she sees, that's what they're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, she's gonna shout out, "We've got what we need," and she'll tell the helmsman to adjust accordingly. And she'll also shout that there's a storm rolling in.
And you hear the basically the mimics or the responses to your call, which is pretty much just the relaying of orders down the line. You hear the deckhands sort of making their own calls to adjust sails and whatnot. You hear as the captain, she shouts out, half mast, half mast. And the ship begins to slow, and I would like you to make another perception. Want your target number to be, again, 15 or higher.
Okay. Does the tell us? Does the scope that was given to me add a bonus at all, or no?
Yes, it will give you a +2.
Okay, so I'm at +4 now. Ooh, that's not good.
So as you get closer and closer, there's a slight rumble as the ship sort of grinds up against some of the reefs, and there's a few fairly clear and audible curses from below. You hear the goblin shout up at you in Goblin, you know, "You're trying to get us killed, you fucking fire crotch!"
She'll shout down, "You wish you knew what my crotch looked like."
And yeah, go ahead and make me another check to see if we can't get this course corrected. Let's say this one's target number of 12, just because you have a good idea of where the reef is now.
Yeah, somewhere on the ship, on the hull somewhere, you know. Oh, I forgot to add the 4. That comes out to 15.
Okay, I was about to say.
I forgot to do the 4 because at first I was like, "Oh no."
So the helmswoman she rights the ship and pulls it away, ports around until you guys finally get to a point where you're just shy of a sandbar, and you'll hear the captain shout out, "All stop! Bring down the sails! Cast anchor! All hands down on deck! We're gonna be lowering dinghies here in a moment." So I would like you to make a strength climbing test to make your way down.
What stat is climbing connected to? Strength. Okay. I have a surprisingly good strength score for a mage. I don't know what the TN is, but 12 or DC. What?
It's a target number, but TN's fine.
Okay.
You're not necessarily graceful in getting down, but you make a passable climb down that doesn't make you look like a fool. You just have to kind of take your time, and as the ship rocks a little bit here and there, as like the anchor drops and whatnot, you might have to pause and kind of hang on for dear life, but get down without incident. And as you hit bottom, as you get down there, you notice the rest of the crew are gathering and getting ready to hop onto a boat that's about to be lowered, and it's like they're waiting just for you.
All
and
right.
Who you see on this ship is on this boarding party. You see the Shivan navigator, Reina Delamorn, and her father, Tyrion Delamorn. You have Peter Bix, and you have the resident playboy, Sawyer Thatcher, who has probably only made 2 or 3 advances at you today. It's kind of a slow day for him.
Here's the question: is he attractive?
And he's down on the bottom right-hand corner there.
Let's see here. Let's see how okay she is. It's all right.
But you know that those passes are kind of an equal opportunity thing. He makes passes at Giselle, Captain Bilgewater, more often than not, and is, for the most part, kind of ignored. But Brindala and Reyna have been known to...
Oh, my bad. I didn't catch you after he's an equal opportunity thing.
Oh, well, he makes advances at the captain just as often as he does you, but she always turns him down. But Brindala and Reyna, they've been known to invite him into a quiet area in the ship from time to time. Whether or not you've done the same is up to you.
Uh, STDs are a hell of a drug on a pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah, that's a health concern. She's not doing that out of health.
Fair enough. He is the only one on ship, though, that seems to bother with smelling good. As usually when he goes into port, he's the one that buys like scented oils and whatnot. Everyone else kind of has that either sort of that scent of, well, a body at sea or salt water if they've recently bathed.
Asadia saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
She bathes at least because she is kind of big on Okay, no, she's not huge on cleanliness, but she would at least be like, I smell right, and fix that.
Well, as you roll aboard, as Sawyer and Tyrion kind of do their thing and begin to row, you have Reyna who stands at the bow of the ship, and you're sat at the stern next to Petrobix. Seems to be grumbling to himself. I don't see how it's that hard to miss rocks in crystal clear water. They're dark. How can you miss rocks?
I remember that one time you missed rocks. No one talks about that.
I had salt water in my eye. That wasn't my fault.
Excuses, excuses.
Valid ones, though. What was your excuse?
My hair was too bright.
Well, maybe tonight I'll give you a hand, free of charge, and go ahead and cut off about 1.5 feet of it. How about that?
Hey, I rocked a shaved head one time. It was pretty nice. Make sure to square off the ends, yeah?
You're not making this any fun at all. And he turns away from you with like a humph. And this is what you see when you finally come ashore. Just absolutely pristine beaches, fine greenery. You see seagulls coming in and roosting, puffins roosting in like in the rocks and whatnot. You see sand crabs scurrying across the sand, and as everybody hops out and pushes the boat through the surf onto the shore and moors it up to a nearby rock and make sure that it's flipped over and not going to float away with the tide. You notice that there's a number of different animals out here. Most prevalent you see are rats that are kind of scurrying about, and as your boat is flipped over, they seem to almost swarm it, sort of looking for anything that's remotely close to food. Probably about 5 or 6 of them. But finding nothing, they continue their search in vain. And
I'm sorry.
Reyna will clear her throat. All right. Petrobix and Terran with me. Sawyer, I want you to take Isadi, take her inland. We're going to take the northern road. I want you all to take the eastern road. And she'll hand you looks like a hand-drawn map. She'll look at you dubiously. You okay to navigate with us?
Oh, what was it she said?
Are you okay to navigate with this?
Would my answer matter at this point?
Not really, no.
Then sure.
And she'll just kind of shake her head and hand off the hand off a map.
Yep, but she will go ahead and start taking a look at. Can she at least mark down where they're starting?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. Mark that off. At least to herself. She will look at Sawyer and say, "Well, care for a stroll?"
He'll kind of like roll his shoulders and seems to sort of take a lay of the land. I think that could be fun. Little adventure might do us both some good. Maybe get your head out of the clouds, get you a little bit sharper on the visual cues, and who knows, just the two of us in the forest.
With all the moss and rat shit. Be amazing.
And he'll, as he starts to walk up the path, he'll turn around and spread out his arms like, "Excuse me, but I am a gentleman, and I will make sure to find proper bedding devoid of rat droppings." And
Of
he'll
course.
give you a wink and continue up the path.
She'll kind of a smile, shake her head, and say, "Just reminding you, I can go weapons free."
What does that have to do with anything?
You know, if you happen to be too good, well, you know, the island's on fire.
That's funny. That's really funny. And he'll just kind of give you, a certain hand gesture before he pulls out a lute that's hanging from his back, and he'll begin to play it as you guys make your way up the path. And go ahead and make me a perception test.
Oh shit! I was hoping this was survival. I was hoping this would be nature. All right, let's get it. Does the map give me a bonus, or is what I'm trying to read?
Actually, yeah, no. Go ahead and make that an intelligence check.
Okay. Does the nature focus apply or no?
No, but the map will give you a +1.
Fair enough. Uh-oh.
Oh, don't do this, Discord.
Give it a minute. I'm gonna try it one more time. Aw, shit.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Well, let's see if I've got a free dice rolling app on my phone.
Let me see if I have something similar. So I don't think I do. At least not on this phone. Maybe it'll work if we try it one more time. If that don't work, I'm just going to download it.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
I don't know which those you want to use because I don't know when they popped up.
We'll use the fourth one. The 16. We'll use the 16.
Okay.
And you've got some stunts to work with here. On both of them, actually, but you have 3 stunt points.
Is there a general stunt list? Like for generalized roles out of combat?
In the Google Drive, there's a chart.
Okay, because there we go. Stunts are right here. Okay, exploration and role-playing stunts. There they go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm guessing we're going to go with the exploration stunt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so... I'm going to use the stunt called the object of your attention. You receive a +1 bonus to further test to examine or perceive additional aspects of the object of your test until the time or venue changes.
Okay, then. So what you see is basically just this. You kind of come into this ruined area of what once used to be like a open venue, like maybe like a temple or something of that ilk. And you can make out that this area probably was once a monastery of some kind. As you can see, like prayer wheels and sort of the remains of what might have been large iron bells of some kind, and sort of tabernacles and incense burners that hang from the various structures. But it's all very overgrown, looking very ancient. And you see writing etched into some of the, or engraved into some of the pillars, but it's not a language that you know.
Dang.
Well, this is quite something, isn't it?
See what strolls bring us?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Oh, she said, you see what strolls bring us now?
I mean, this is nice and all. And he'll make his way up the stairs and whatnot. Look at one of the benches overgrown with vines and moss, and sort of cleared off as he sits on it and continues to pluck a few strings on his lute. Nice little place. Would be a bad place to set up a camp. Something maybe nice and away from the rest of the world. Some place that the crew and captain could call a home away from home. What do you think?
Be a great hideaway for sure.
And he'll look over it sort of off to the top of that stairwell, and there's like this looks to have been like maybe like a dojo or a temple of some kind, but it's a covered building made of stone. Want to check that out while I roll us a few of these, and he'll hold out a tobacco pack.
Sounds good.
And he'll begin to get to that as he sets the loot down.
Oh, sorry?
As he sets his loot down, he'll begin to roll cigarettes for the two of you.
Ooh, give me just a second. There are these dogs barking up a storm. Alrighty. That's a bit better. Away and checking out that dojo temple area she was talking about.
So you're gonna go and check that out?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception test again, and don't forget your +1.
Sounds
But the
good.
map will not help you on here, because the temple is not necessarily on the
I
map.
don't. What you were telling me, this isn't marked on the map.
Yeah. At least not in any great detail.
Well, that's a 12.
Okay. What you see is like these two. So basically, there's like a front, like sort of a front entranceway. It's like a stone entranceway that goes from one side to the other, and it extends out about 10 feet from the doorway. And then it gives way to like these pools, like these indoor pools. There's like water flowing into them. The pools are about 20 feet by 30 feet with like a stone pathway down the middle. And there are these like water lilies and lily pads all over the surface of the water. And towards the far end of the room, you can see what looks to be like old, rotted out, or highly weathered like seating cushions, sort of all set in a semicircle in front of a sort of like a altar. You see two low tables set on either side of what look to be like a larger cushion that's in a pretty bad way of decay. So this is probably like a like a classroom of some kind, or a place where students could listen to a master speak, and the sound of the water rolling in was to help with meditation and whatnot, like more than likely.
Is this? No, you said it was running water. Okay.
Yeah, there's like two like little like stone koi that have been carved into the stonework of the wall on either side, and they're the ones that are like flowing water in to this into these pools. And there's like little reliefs that are cut out of the stone to allow overflow water to just pour out.
She'll just kind of run her hand under the water, like quick.
Okay then.
Oh shit!
uh,
As I spring the trap on accident.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. What's your defense?
12.
Okay, so something pink and large comes lunging out of the water for your hand, but hits the stone directly beside it, and then retracts just as quickly as, puffing out of the water, you see this.
Oh.
It's a frog that's roughly about 3 times the size of you.
Got it. It's the time for initiative.
Yes.
How do you do initiative again? Is it just 3d6 plus dex?
3d6 plus your dex.
Okay.
So it has a 9.
The girl's got a 12.
You're going first. So what do you do?
Alrighty, how ham am I gonna go here? Nah, that's not necessarily the best thing right now. How much foliage is there in this little combat arena that's been improvised?
Foliage?
Yeah. How? Okay, Lo. Let me rephrase. How much shit will be set on fire if I hit it with a fire spell?
It's mostly moss and fungus, and it's very humid in here, so probably not a lot unless you're like flame gouting it of some kind.
The literal description for flame blast is gouts of blazing fire erupt.
You'd have to concentrate on it for a while.
Okay, cool. And just fucking smack this motherfucker.
Just gonna burn it up like that.
Hell yeah, it's swinging at her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Okay, cost 4 MP.
Yeah. Also, I need to get used to this spell casting system. So, alrighty. So, if I remember right, it's gonna be my intelligence to cast the spell, and I believe I have a. Do I have a specialty? Or not a specialty. Do I have a focus in Fire Arcana?
Is it written down? You may have a talent in it, but you may not have a focus.
I get the I get the focus when I become a journeyman in Fire Arcana.
Yeah.
So there we go. We good.
Okay. Do you think?
Well, that hits it. Well, no, the spell goes off. Alrighty.
you definitely hit.
Yeah. So this dude's got to make a deck. Yeah, he has to make a Dex acrobatics check. Well, he can, if he wants to basically like resist
What's your spell power?
some.
Tim?
Okay, pretty sure that beats my thing.
What's your spell power?
Let's see here.
Spell power is 10 plus your willpower.
Okay. Yeah, he just made it. He just made it.
Okay. So then he is going to go ahead and roll your damage. It's 1d6, I believe.
Yeah, 1d6
plus 1.
Plus 1. Ugh, that's nasty. But he still takes 3.
Ah! All right, calculator here.
Focuses into that. That's bitching.
Yeah. Okay. So it is its turn, and it is going to. You're gonna singe the side of it, and it's just gonna kind of look down where you burnt part of its leg, and then it's gonna look at you, and it's just gonna go. And then it's gonna tongue lash you again. What's your defense?
12. It got me.
Okay. So, what we are going to do is we are going to each roll a strength might check. It's basically lashed its tongue on you.
Alrighty. It's trying to eat me, isn't it?
Maybe. A 12.
Ooh, this is gonna get bad.
All right, so I'm gonna say you're about 4 yards from it, and So it pulls you from the stone into the water, but you've still got about another 2 yards to go before you're in its mouth.
Yeah, I got something for his ass. Is it my go?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see inside its mouth?
It's kind of like partially submerged in the water, but it hasn't quite. You know what? I'll say its mouth is open.
Okay. There. I don't know how you're gonna want to rule this, so this is gonna be a little cray. But Asadi is going to clap her hands. She's going to cast bonfire inside of the giant toad's mouth.
That's one of the expanded arcanas, isn't it?
Sorry?
Bonfire.
That is one of the house rule. The I guess you could call it one of the house ruled ones that you had sent me.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say I can't do that? That's okay. I'm still gonna throw fire in its mouth, but I just won't use that spell to do it.
Bonfire is listed as a utility, and I would say that there needs to be something like fuel based on the ground. And while flesh will certainly burn, probably not going to do much for in the way of burn for. Probably not going to do much in the way of actually making a adequate fire, only because it's a utility spell.
That's fine. I'm still going to flame blast it in the mouth then.
I kind of figured.
You know me.
I know you. Tonight we dine on frog legs.
Yep. That fails. I got something else for his ass.
Is it a journeyman's spell?
Probably. Yeah. I'm probably going to use Burning Shield on myself and just fucking be like, yeah, get indigestion, bitch. Okay, this is going to be a DC of 12, so we're going to do that. Ooh. Oh, hey, stun points.
Yep.
Give me just a moment. I got to pull up spell stunts now. I think are separate from normal stunts. There we go.
They are.
Okay. No, okay, so alrighty, so what we're gonna do is, yeah, that's gonna make sense. Alrighty, so we're gonna do a mighty spell to increase its to give it another d6 of damage.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do powerful casting to bring my spell power up by 1 for this.
Okay.
So boy now has to beat a 50 to like quote unquote save.
Okay. He does not make it.
Alrighty, let's get it. It's gonna be 3d6 plus 2. Watch me just get all ones. No, that's gonna be 15 in his mouth.
15. Yeah, it makes an odd noise, like a groaning. And it is going to try and pull you into its mouth. So we will now each make a contested roll.
Okay.
Strength has a 13.
Oh no!
Gets real dark. Ishadi, it gets real dark in there as the frog pulls you into its mouth, even though it's burning. It closes its mouth, which puts out the flame that you just made inside its mouth, though that was kind of already going out because it's already done its damage, and you didn't make it last for any longer.
That's fair.
But you are inside its mouth, and while you are in there, you are going to suffer from -3 penalties and take 1d6 of penetrating damage every round. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that initial 1d6 of penetrating. So you take 5.
Okay.
Which I think is all the same for you because you don't wear armor.
All the same for me because I don't wear armor.
Okay. I need to roll. Okay. Do you remember what your initiative was? It was 12, right?
Hold on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was 12.
Okay. 1 minute here. Taking a little bit longer than I would like for it to.
Ain't no rush, though. Ooh, ain't no rush, man.
Okay. So, our good friend Sawyer is going to come in, and he is going to try and help you after hearing the commotion from outdoors and seeing the bright flashes of flame, and then the splash and maybe the slight that you made right before you went inside that frog's fucking mouth. So he hits the damn thing. So as you are inside this frog's mouth, you do feel a sudden jolt as you feel something, as you kind of feel it like undulate and do its like it doesn't seem to be all that happy as you were hit or something hit it. You're not exactly sure what, but something hit it, and it is your turn.
Alrighty. If she's getting some, if she's taking some, give me a moment. I'm trying to think of it. If she's taking penetrating damage, then by God, he's going to take penetrating damage. She's casting Burning Shield. I don't know if you want to count the damage that it's doing as a melee attack, because it is very specific that anyone that does a melee attack takes the damage.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing it. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. My bad. I do have to adjust my magic points accordingly. I'm trying to keep track of that too. That's done. And target already takes major action. Let's get it. And that's going to be the wrong room. That's the right room. Alrighty, no stun points, but it is definitely active now.
Okay.
And he, just as I'm taking 1d6, he's taking 2, just every round. It's a slower rate, but hey.
He's taking 2 penetrating damage.
Yes.
Okay. Penetrating damage is all the same for him because it doesn't have any armor. And it certainly wouldn't have any armor inside. So you are going to take 1d6 again.
Okay.
So that's 2 more damage on you. And it is going to try and bite Sawyer.
Oh, I did forget to account for the -2, but that still made it.
Yeah. You good.
Okay.
And what is Sawyer's defense? Oh, no. The thing misses him. It is Sawyer's turn. He is going to continue to try and help you. I think that is... I forgot to add... his +2. So that is a hit. So that is going to do... So it is going to take... an additional 2. So... Sorry, you are very unceremoniously spit back out. You were literally just kind of spat out of the water onto like the stone as this frog, as you come out, there's blood all in the pool. You're covered in like foul smelling bile, just like a film, like almost like a sheet of it. And you can see that Sawyer has taken his blade to this thing several times over. But it is your turn now, and it is looking really, really bad.
She also looks really mad.
Oh no, it looks bad, not mad.
Oh. That doesn't change how she feels.
It's understandable you got eaten today. It's cool.
Yeah. The hair on her, her hair is probably turning much, much brighter than this. Because she is properly pissed. Gonna flame blast it again.
Okay.
As a side note, I'm realizing how much magic points you go through.
Mm-hmm.
You go through quite a bit real fast.
That's why mages have Arcane Blast.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna Arcane Blast it.
Okay.
Actually conserve. And I actually want to see how that works. Alrighty. So am I still taking the -2?
No, you're out of its stomach.
Alrighty. It's really big. Does a 10 hit it?
No, you missed.
Shit. Fuck Arcane Blast, man. You're doing good with everything else.
Yeah, everything else is kind of costly.
Yeah.
It is going to attempt to bite you.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit? Yes.
Oh, any enemy that makes a melee attack, he takes
Now the flame
two
shield is,
penetrating.
yeah, the flame shield already did damage to it. There's still light coming out of its mouth.
Oh no, she still has it up.
Okay. Well,
It's up for an amount of minutes equal to her willpower.
well. Thing opens its mouth and comes to clamp around you, and it's gonna do that, and it's gonna do some damage. However, once it does that damage, all 4 points of it, it closes its mouth on you to to clamp onto you, and it hurts. As it clamps down on you, and it kind of knocks you off of your feet. But as it twists its head to kind of finish the bite off, it kind of stumbles and falls over, and you can see smoke and steam coming out of its nostrils and whatnot, and its eyes are starting to turn white as it's being cooked from the inside.
So, Asadi doesn't quite recognize that it's dead yet. And she's like, come on, we've got it on the ropes. And she's going to fucking start going at it, trying to blast it some more. She may have to get pulled back by Sawyer.
Sawyer is not going to grab a hold of you because you have the flame shield on. He's just going to find what he's going to do is he's going to find a bucket. He's going to dip it into the pool of water, and while you're just kind of going at it, he's just going to splash you with it.
That will make her stop, and she'll be like, what?
I think you got it. He'll gesture to its dead frog, which you've partially begun to mutilate.
Oh, no. Oh, my. Oh. I thought it was on the ropes.
No, it's very dead.
All right.
Very, very dead.
Dick. She looks over at the frog. Mad as shit.
On our way back, we should definitely carve this thing up and take some of this meat back with us.
It's probably... She looks at it. Medium rare.
It is kind of cooked, isn't it, already? Tonight we have frog legs. Yep. And as he slides the blade back into its sheath and sort of adjusts his coat as he walks by, he's just going to kind of give a nudge with his shoulder as he walks by, and then as he gets down the stairs and he lights his cigarette, he's just going to kind of smirk. Frog meat is considered an aphrodisiac in many parts of this world.
Hey, if you want to get with all this bile, just say the word.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass.
Hey, no, but Sawyer, I all of a sudden am in the mood. I require your manly loving. I need it. I crave it.
Quite the enticing performance, but I think I'm going to have to pass and save myself for marriage.
Oh no.
It's a cutting loss, I know, but you'll have to make do. And yeah, you guys continue on up the path, kind of uneventful from there. And as it comes to about early afternoon, make me a perception check.
Alrighty. Do I still get that +1?
I'll give it to you one more time, yeah.
All right. was a 12, you know.
You can hear it. You can hear the sounds of a black powder pistol going off in the distance. You can hear crewmates shouting, and you can hear this loud sort of sort of like a roar.
Yeah, Saudi will perk up, look over to Sawyer.
Sawyer's sort of like taking his coat off and sighing as he's doing so, hanging it up on a nearby tree branch, folding it over very nicely. He's going to draw out his cutlass and his pistol and let out a sigh. A swashbuckler's life is never easy, is it? Says with a smirk, and he begins to run down the path.
She was about to tell him, but since he's already on his way, you know, she's just gonna book it right along with him.
So, what you see when you come down the path is you see your friends. They are engaged in battle. However, what you didn't expect to see was something that stands probably about 20 feet tall at the shoulder, probably about a good 50 to 60 feet long.
Oh, hell no.
And go ahead and roll your initiative. I'm going to roll its initiative, and your companions are just going to go after you.
I got a 15.
It's got a 12. So you are going first. This fucking thing is huge.
Alrighty. We're gonna try this fucking arcane blast bullshit one more time. Swear to God. This shit misses. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm mad as fuck. 11 missed, didn't it?
Just barely.
Fuck this game. Fuck this system.
All right, I'm going to make Sawyer's attack. Sake of this not being like a 4-hour scene, Sawyer's going to be the only one that's really attacking and making any headway with it, so that way we're not bogged down by procedure here.
I feel you.
14. $13. Okay, so yeah, Sawyer runs up and he slices up into it, and it is going to make its attack against Sawyer. Only got a bite attack. It certainly... Does that hit Sawyer? Pretty sure it does. Yes. Actually, no. What it's going to do... I'm going to do something different. He needs to make a Constitution check. Oh, okay. So as as it turns its head to Sawyer, after Sawyer stabs into its flesh, and as it seems to lock eyes with Sawyer, and as Sawyer rears back to go again, Sawyer's skin begins to like become ashen, and you hear this crackling sound, and then he just completely ceases to move as his clothing and his skin and his weapons turn into stone.
Oh shit!
And that's its turn. It's your turn now.
I swear to no, I'm determined now. Arcane Blast is gonna hit one goddamn day. Oh shit! 16 get it?
That's a hit.
Bitchin'. Now Arcane Blast isn't all that strong, but it'll do. Hey, there's 7.
All right. It's got an armor of 4, so that's 3.
Why
So,
you gotta do that, Danny? Why does it have to have armor, man?
I pulled it from the book, man. So yeah, you hit this fucker, and yeah, your like your little flame blast hits it, and sort of the flames sort of roll along its armored hide, and then it turns its head like a bird snapping its head to look at something, looks directly at you. And there's that moment.
Care for a spot of tea?
Just opens its mouth and roars. Full on T-Rex roar. As it is going to attempt to bite the shit out of you. What did I do? Oh, whoops. At a 12. What's your defense?
12.
That's a hit. That's 5 points of damage.
Burning shield still up?
You know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Well, no, because that lasts only a number or your willpower in minutes.
That's yeah. I imagine it would have taken us at least 2 minutes. No, it probably would have taken us more than a few minutes to get here. So
yeah, quite a few. It was a number of hours.
Oh shit. Okay.
You've probably gotten mosquito bites on you by now. A lot of them.
Fair enough. But that's 5.
Probably mad as hell.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
itchy.
no, like,
I'm itchy. I'm sticky. I'm stanky.
to quote Frieza, she's just a little bit absolutely livid.
Yeah.
Her friend just died. She liked him. She liked that motherfucker.
He's just petrified. He's not necessarily dead.
Oh, okay. She liked him. She liked that motherfucker.
And it is your turn again.
Okay, I don't need to save for the petrification stuff.
It did not try to petrify you. You could only do that every couple of turns.
Awesome. So I'm gonna have to flame blast this bitch. Mad as hell. Mad as hell. It's not a stunt point, but it sure as hell goes off.
That's a hit.
That asshole needs to do his save against like a fucking DC of like 14. Catch these hands.
It fails.
Awesome. So I'm getting my full 2d6 plus 2. which is 1 die better than my Arcane Blast. Hey, oh shit. Not too bad. That's 13.
That's 9 damage to this thing. Oh. Yeah, you've hurt this thing. Like, you blast it, and its head kind of comes back, and it shakes its head a few times, and its arms kind of like bat away the flames from its muzzle. And then it turns back at you and roars again, and then goes to bite you again.
Boom! It missed.
It misses. It's still got some smoke in its eyes. Some of those feathers are sort of like smoldering, still low-key burning right now.
Shit, she ain't trying to fuck this up.
How you doing on those spell points, buddy?
I think I'm at 19. So I can blast
again.
Yeah, I can blast this thing 4 more times. Although I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna Arcane Blast it this time. And if it fucking fails me, I swear to God. This game! This fucking game!
I mean, you got 4 stop points though, if it had been a successful hit.
Fucking mad as fuck.
16 hit?
Oh god, wait, what?
Was a 16 hit?
Yeah, fucking. I'm just gonna make my backup character, man. Fuck this shit. I knew I should have just made a fighter.
9 points of damage.
Shit.
What you looking like right now?
That 9 is actually that 9 hurt. That's gonna put me at. Give me a moment. I need to figure out. I need to do math. I'm at 26.
Not bad. Like, I thought you might have been worse off. You're doing all right.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Like I got. Like that's what's keeping me good. But fuck.
I'll let you know right now, you and this thing, and this dinosaur, this fucking basilosaur, you and it are like even as far as health is concerned right now.
What the fuck?
So it's your turn.
Yeah, we're gonna flame blast. Arcane Blast ain't doing jack shit. Can't fuck. Bad as fuck.
That is a hit with 6 stunt points, sir.
That's gonna be good.
That's gonna be fucking tits, actually.
Yeah. So, let me
spell this.
Let's see here.
Lethal spell will add 2 more d6 worth of damage.
I'm looking at that, and I'm also looking at fast casting. I'm gonna do 1 big hit rather than 2 smaller hits, though, just to overcome its armor rating. Okay. So I'm gonna do that, and then gonna do
casting.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I can get with the last point.
So what's the DC it needs to make?
I'm calculating it right now. 15.
15. It failed.
Let's see how this goes. That's Watch this be all 1s, and I'm just gonna be mad as fuck, and I'm just gonna leave this game. Oh shit! Oh, 23.
I'm gonna roll this thing's willpower to see if it just doesn't say fuck this shit.
I come here to get set on fire.
I was just protecting my territory. Like, these little fuckers came up into my place, and I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Y'all came up into my house. I'm just trying to protect my fucking log, man.
It decides it wants to stay.
It decides it wants to catch these hands.
Well, I need you to make a Constitution stamina test at a difficulty of 12.
Watch me botch this shit or something fucking stupid. Nope, I'm good.
So yeah, as this thing's eyes kind of glow with like a crimson or ruby red light, you feel your body get stiff, and you feel your skin sort of like become rough, kind of like all the moisture being sapped out of it for a moment. But you manage to shake off the effects, and little bits of like little flakes of stone that started to form on your skin just kind of fall off to the ground and crumple away like mud, like clay. And it's your turn.
So that's what's got her fucked up. I think the petrification's the breaking point, Benny.
Okay.
I think that's the last bit. That it's not even the fact that she was petrified. It's that he fucking rolled up tried a friend and then tried to petrify her. It's just swearing, Benny. It's screaming, visceral, angry screaming and swearing things that I can't repeat to you because they would offend you and we're on air. Like, this is getting personal.
By all means, it's your turn.
Okay. Like, she just doesn't care. It's just going to be flame blast until she's out of spells.
Okay.
Like, she's setting it on fire.
That's a hit.
She hits. She's going to fucking, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's mad. It does need to make that dex save. I know it's not a save, but it's the closest that
We can call it a save. I don't care.
Okay.
I know what you mean. We all know what it means. It makes it.
Okay, it's just 1d6 then. Which means it might not go through its armor this time. Oh, there is a little bit that gets through its armor. 6 damage. You there, bud?
Yeah, no, I'm here. It's really, really hurting. I'm gonna.
It's in the single fucking digits at this point. Oh my god.
D6 plus. What's his willpower? It's got a willpower of 2.
Sorry?
It's got a willpower of 2. What was the little test in the last one?
You put it at 14 earlier.
Yeah, no, this bitch is running. This bitch, like, literally just kind of lets out like you hit it again, and it's like it's blinking and like shaking its head, and then it just looks at you and it just lets out this bell like, oh, just
fuck you.
Starts to limp away.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it just begins to like run as best it can away, like limping as it goes.
What, bitch? I wanted a new pair of shoes, you fucking dickbag. Fuck you. petrified my friend after I already got eaten by a goddamn frog in this goddamn island and this goddamn stupid day in this shitty fucking sky.
So yeah,
I ain't even got no fucking money yet.
Raina's gonna come up and just gonna put a hand on each of your shoulders, like, Sadi, you're okay. It's gone.
You're right. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'll find his ass later.
Well, my father's gonna be looking after Sawyer. You want to go? And she'll kind of gesture to what the thing was standing over, which looks like a mound. And this mound has a entrance that leads like straight down at the summit of this small mound.
Yeah. All right. Can do.
And as that happens, a friend makes their way up the path, running with their sword in hand. Just like, what did I miss? I heard shouting and a lot of cursing.
Somebody rolled up on our turf and tried to talk shit, and I disagreed. We all disagreed simultaneously, very loudly.
Huh. So business as usual?
Yeah. Sawyer's petrified, but he's fine. I hope.
That's the hardest I've ever seen him.
You sure about that?
Two women will look between each other. They'll kind of like shrug a few times, and then they'll nod. Yeah.
Huh. All right.
And so, do you go down into the tomb?
Yeah, she's gonna go ahead and go now.
So you get down there into the tomb, and you see a number of already tripped traps. Look like they were tripped quite a while ago. You see painted sort of are chiseled into the wall. You see goblin written. Since you're the only one here that can read it, at least. It says, "This is my treasure. Keep your grubby, filthy, non-goblin or goblin-related hands off of my shit."
Is there a goblin skeleton further?
Yes. There is.
There we go. I'm back now. Sorry. I just heard keep your hands off my shit.
Mm-hmm.
But my question immediately after that was, is there a goblin skeleton off somewhere?
Yes, there is.
Awesome.
But not too far past that, this is what you see.
Ooh, her eyes go wide. She kind of looks around. Oh, shit.
We're not going to be able to carry all of this. The ship's not going to be able to take all of this.
Well, luckily, me and Sawyer found a temple not too far away from here. If we want to lay down something here, we could probably just live off of this for a while. And invest wherever we need to invest it in.
That would be a great idea. Brindala says, and Rena says, I think, yeah, that would be not a bad idea. Uh, so much of it here. And Brindala will walk over, and she notices something. She starts digging through the treasure, and what she pulls out is a weapon that looks much like the one she normally carries, but this one has a glow to it, and she picks it up. And her eyes go a bit wide as she swings it a few times, and when she does, there is a definite humming sound that comes from it when she does.
Like a fucking lightsaber?
No, it's more of like a. Have you ever heard like when somebody like takes like a wine glass filled with like crystal stemware with water filled in it, and they run their finger over the lip?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like that.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah, as she looks at it, her eyes obviously get that covetous look in it that all pirates do. And then you notice that Reyna walks up to her and holds out her hand. She shakes her head. Skipper gets first pick. You know that. Yeah, I know that. And she'll hand the blade over, but she'll keep her eyes on it as Reyna finds the scabbard for it and sheathes it and puts it over her shoulder. She begins to fill a few of the chests with what looks to be some of the more like some of the jewels and whatnot. Brindala.
I was just gonna say, Sadie starts kind of, doing the same, make sure her hands stay busy and shit.
Mm-hmm. So the next 16 hours are pretty much you guys taking chests and chestfuls of whatnot, of treasure and everything, and the captain claims the sword for herself, of course, and you guys pretty much take as much as you can carry through several trips to the temple, and you guys find places to hide it, and it's not in the place that you left it before. And then if about 5 chests are filled, which you guys carry back to the ship. And as you begin to lift anchor, this time Petrobix is up in the crow's nest, and as you guys sail out for about 20 minutes away from the island, he makes a call. He has a whistle, and he blows on it. And that gets pretty much everyone's attention, and he shouts out, "Privateers! Privateers! Off the port side!" And what you see off to the port side of the ship is a ship that's quite a bit larger than yours, making its way towards you guys. And it's moving fast, and it's carrying official colors, even though there are pirate flags in the picture. They are definitely Coramel banners from the Kingdom of Coramel, which is northwest from the archipelago. About 10 to 20 days of sailing, depending on the seas and the winds. And the captain begins to shout out orders. She'll say, "Sawyer! Petrobix! Asadi, I want you guys to get on the rigging. Full sails!"
Yes, Captain. And she's gonna get it going. I actually don't know what any of that meant.
Just roll your deck sailing, if you have it.
Okay.
Basically, it just means pull the sails up completely full, get them completely spread out so you can catch as much of the wind as possible.
We're going at combat speed.
Yep. Ooh.
Ugh.
So as you kind of start to pull up on one of the sails, you can't really get it up fully, and that ship is moving quick. And that's when Brindola kind of comes down off of her perch down up by Renna on the near the ship's helm, and she'll come over and she'll kind of wink at you as she begins to help you pull the rigging up.
All right.
Yep. And as they go, you'll hear Petrobix shout out again so he's sitting on one of the masts, like on the third sail or the second sail up at the top mast of it, and he'll say, "Another ship off the bow. Looks like it's the Caduceus." And you know that the Caduceus is one of the other pirate ships that operates in this area. They're sort of allies, but I mean, pirates are not necessarily allies.
They won't shoot us on sight immediately, although this may be contrary to that fact now.
Well, at the moment, you guys have a common enemy. There is a privateer ship bearing down on the two ships now. And as this is going on, Brendola will turn to you, and she'll frown. Get a few kegs of powder ready. I have an idea.
Got it, Brendola. That was Tim's mistake, not Asadi's.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Alrighty.
And yeah, as you go down there, go ahead and make me another dex. Say another dex sailing would be fine.
Really?
It takes you a little while to get these kegs up onto the deck, but she'll kind of instruct you to place them on. She wants 2 up by the bow and 2 back by the stern.
Alrighty.
And as she goes and she kind of pats down her pockets, she frowns. Go down and get some tinder, would you? What she wants is matches.
She got it. She'll kind of just look down at her hands, not really say the obvious, but she'll nod and get the matches.
She'll just kind of like roll her eyes. Look, I want to be able to light them if I'm by the kegs and not you.
Understood.
Shake her head. Just let out a sigh. And go ahead and make me a perception test to try and find perception searching. Say difficulty 13 to find it, just because tinder boxes are small.
Okay, 9's been my lucky number today, or unlucky in this case. Oh shit, 13. Got it on the dot.
Just enough. So as you're kind of like fishing through like your belongings, you can't find any tinder or a tinder box at all. You kind of look around. You go from, your bunks, which are basically hammocks, at the front of the ship, underneath, sort of like hanging in like these little like stalls. Best way I can describe them. Too high. You kind of look through your bag, and then you look through like Renna's, and then through Sawyer's. Petrobix keeps his booby trapped, so you probably stay very clear of those.
Yeah.
But you have to go all the way back to the stern of the ship into the captain's cabin to actually find a tinderbox, and it's in her desk. And it's about that point that 4 explosions rock the ship. Like, and when I mean rocket, like I need you to make a dexterity acrobatics to stay on your feet.
I gotta check if I have acrobatics. No, I don't.
So yeah, then it's just a straight dex check. Yeah, you kind of get thrown to the ground pretty hard, but it doesn't damage you. You might bust your lip open a little bit.
That's fine. We got this.
And it's about that time that you hear that sound again up on deck. And it's that sound of the sword. And then the sounds of screams.
Would she try to look for the matches still, or would she try to?
That's up to you. I'll give you, just because of how intimate you are with fire, that sounded like 4 kegs going off at positions where you set them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Making her way up.
So what you see when you come up is that the top of the ship is in pretty bad shape. One of the front masts is actually collapsed forward and is sort of dragging in the water. You see Petrovix, and his chest has been sliced very cleanly open. And you can see like the light leaving his eyes as like blood is just pumping out slower and slower from his gash. You see Tyrion, and one of his arms is missing, and his throat is actually cut through so deep that his head is barely hanging on. You see Sawyer, who looks like he got caught in the blast, and he's filled with shrapnel pieces and laying on his side, his eyes just fixed and hollow. And you see Brendela, who is probably one of the most competent fighters you've ever seen. She has the blade that Giselle took, and she has one of her normal glass blades in hand, and she is fighting currently with Giselle and Rena, and in 2 swift motions she spins like a marionette, and you watch as Rena and Giselle's heads just come cleanly off. And as her sort of sky blue cape kind of flutters out behind her, kicked up in the swirls of the fire, she then looks at you with a smirk on her face.
Oh, sorry.
She looks back at you with a smirk on her face as the captain and the first mate drop.
Asadi has wide eyes, which there are some tears that roll down. Like this was happening as all this was kind of going down in slow motion. So she only sheds about 1 tear before clutching her fist, and she'll scream that she'll pay for this. And she's gonna blast her. Try to, at least.
Okay. By the way, by this point you've healed and you've gotten at least half of your spell points back. I'll give you that one.
Okay. We're actually just gonna do an arcane blast because I think that's gonna miss, and I imagine that Asadi would miss right now. Wow. Okay. Now I know I have to tempt fate. Does 15 hit?
It just misses.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, homegirl be a super high level. She was able to take on like 2 fucking dudes.
Yeah, she closes the distance with a move action effortlessly. And as she's right there in front of you, she's just kind of she just cants her head to one side and she shakes her head. Just jump off into the water. Maybe you have a chance that way.
You first.
All right, we're gonna roll initiative.
Yep.
Roll 3d10.
Sorry?
Said I almost rolled 3d10.
Oh, shit.
That would have been bad.
I got 10. She's probably going to get magnificently higher.
What I did there. What did I do? I think I might have zoomed in a little bit. Yes, she does get higher.
Yeah, figured.
So as you two kind of square off with each other, she'll kind of look her over. You know, I never understood why you joined up with us in the first place. You're way too soft of heart to be a pirate.
Is her action talking shit?
And she says that as she takes a swing at you.
Okay.
3d6. 4.
Oh.
Ah!
Do we just want to end the fight there, Vinny?
You know what? If that's what you want to do, or if you want to take your chances with her, like, I don't think she has enough to kill you in one hit, or, well, knock you unconscious in one hit. It's up to you.
I mean, like, that's kind of the perfect way to end this combat.
All right, then.
Like, just triple sixes, impale.
So, what she does, you've known her for a little under a year now, so you guys have gotten close, maybe intimate as far as friendship is concerned. As you come at her, she just takes two quick swipes at first. And at first, there's only a slight pain in your arms, but when you look down, she's literally sliced through your arcane tattoos, which won't permanently it won't permanently destroy them, but it's enough to break your concentration and sort of foul up your channeling there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of follows through with the motion, and she turns her back to you, and then she just drives both arms backwards, and the blades go through your stomach or your abdomen on either side, just below the ribs, and she pulls them away.
On the upside, I'm glad you did it Old Republic style.
I'm glad you got the reference there.
Yep.
And as you stumble backwards, you lean against the side of the ship. The burning the ship now burning, and you can see that the other pirate ship, the Caduceus, is still on its way, and you can see that several of the members are calling out to Brindala. And she looks back over with a smile and just kind of waves at them before she looks back at you. And she'll take the relic sword and just put it under your chin. As far as a sailor goes, I have enough respect for you that I won't let you burn to death on this ship. Burial at sea seems a lot better. And with that, she'll kick you in the chest. and you go end over end into the water. And all goes black. When you awake again, somehow you are still alive. And you find yourself in a small chamber inside a ship. You know, the sort of sounds and the rocking of a ship that sort of seem memorable. You're laying on a makeshift bed made of straw and a blanket, but you have bandages wrapping you. You're in a fair amount of pain. As your fingers move over your chest and your abdomen, you can feel the stitches, fresh stitches. And you can see that there is a bucket with bloody dressings sitting off to the side of your bed, and there's a pan of water not too far away from you. And you notice that there is another Esper sort of leaning against or sitting in what looks to be like a little makeshift guard, uh, like a guard station, which is basically it's got a desk with a candle on it and a stool to sit on. And he's currently fiddling with a pipe, trying to light it with some tinder. And as he sees you stirring, he'll take a puff and inhale out of the pipe and then blow it out, and then sort of lean forward slightly and look down at you inside your little cell there. I didn't think you'd make it.
She'll kind of weakly lift up her hand. It's more protective than anything else, but she'll just, first thing she'll ask is, it's very weak, it's very low. Where am I?
You're on a ship headed back to Coromel. You're on the Maiden's Call, privateer vessel for the Coromel King.
Out of character, what's a privateer?
A privateer is essentially they're like a mercenary ship crew. They're kind of like the inverse of a pirate. They are basically pirate hunters. They also are sometimes, they're basically like state-sponsored pirates. They either fight against other pirates or they fight against other nations. But
Okay.
they're not official armadas.
All right. And who are you?
I imagine they're swift breeze. I'm a wind-blooded. Cousin to you in a sense, I suppose.
Oh, Vinny, you're coming in a bit quiet.
Sorry, he's fairly soft-spoken.
That's fair.
I'm a wind-blooded like you. Cousin, I suppose.
Yeah. She'll kind of look around, notice that she's in a cell now. Think family could help out family and let me off with a warning?
I don't think the captain would take kindly to that. She'd probably throw me over and feed me to the sharks. Sort of like what happened to the bodies of your crew.
It was worth a try. Did you get the one with glowing swords? The one with a glowing sword?
The other ship. She fired on the one that you were found in the wreckage of. she sank it intentionally. I would expect probably to come back for the treasure on board, or whatever it is that you had worth sinking it. By the time we got there, it was well on its way. A much faster ship than our own.
Damn. All right. So, what's the plan here?
Well, Captain did not see fit to just let you drown or be eaten. She's gonna take you back to Coromel, where you're gonna be tried and likely serve time as a pirate. After that, who knows? The Coromel King is benevolent in what he does.
Certainly better than death by hanging, then.
Well, as far as we know, your ship has not killed anyone we know. He's not on a list of those to bring back for death sentences. It just happened to come across our scopes. As far as I know, it's about a 10-year sentence for piracy. Maybe less with good behavior. And he'll sit back and he'll take a puff. Though I don't see why. Most of you get free and then go right back to business, as it were.
I'm sorry, did he ask a question?
No,
It
he just
very
kind
difficult
of
to hear.
yeah, no, he just kind of said that, like, he doesn't understand why they would allow you guys to leave, because most of you go right back to the business.
I think you'd be surprised. Everyone that's there is. They got a reason for it. While I don't necessarily get down with some of the things that
Tim?
there we go, I'm back now. She'll say, well, I don't necessarily get down with things that others in my profession do. I can see why some of them would end up where they are.
He'll stand up and blow out his smoke in your general direction. It doesn't have enough reach to actually get to you, but it sort of fills up your cell with a haze.
She honestly doesn't mind the smoke too much. She's probably one of the few that probably wouldn't. Because Esper.
Yeah. It's still against the laws of the land. If it were up to me, we'd hang you from the mast from the rigging before we ever made it back. But it's not my choice.
Damn, cousin. I thought we were cooler than that.
And he doesn't say anything. He just leaves you. And over the course of like the next week or so, it's mostly just spent healing. The orc woman is your caretaker, and her name is Bragna Frostback. And she has a gentle hand. But she treats you as a prisoner. You know, she's kind enough and she's gentle, but you know, she definitely has that cold shoulder that would, you know, indicate that your your choice in lifestyle is contemptible as far as she's concerned.
There may be a couple of cold puns.
Probably.
Uh,
And actually, go ahead and roll me your intelligence. If you have cultural lore, go ahead and roll it.
I don't have cultural lore, but
You roll your intelligence then.
oh man,
There's enough there. She definitely looks like she's mixed heritage.
what kind of
Um,
heritage?
Mixed heritage. Judging by the ears, she's probably some kind of an orc crossbreed. But you know that orcs are, as far as laws are concerned, if they follow laws of any kind, like whether of their clan, um, or if they adhere to laws of a land, that they follow them very strictly. So you are a rule breaker, law breaker. Bad person you are. But as the days go on, as you're coming back into port, as you hear the sound of seagulls overhead, you know that you're probably a day out. That's when someone comes down to pay you a visit. Very cold, stern-faced Chinyama woman by the name of Mirex Foy. She comes down and she'll pull the stool right in front of your cell. By this point, you've probably mustered up the strength to sit upright, and you've probably been able to keep down a few meals. Haven't had the chance to debrief you on what happened. That's
Sadi will. Oh, I was just gonna say Sadi will actually sit up to kind of listen to the Chinyama lady.
I'd certainly like to know exactly what happened out there. It's not often that you see one pirate ship open fire on another when there is a very mutual enemy on its horizon.
That is certainly strange. Definitely unexpected, at least on my end.
Have you no insight into it?
Look, all I know is we made a really good score. Really good. And based on what I'm gathering, first mate of our ship stabbed us in the back. Me in the front.
She'll nod. Betrayal is a very tragic thing to suffer through. But I suppose such is to be expected from your kind. There is no honor among thieves and no honor among pirates. I'm hoping that perhaps, with the king's mercy and a bit of foresight and a bit of introspection, that you will perhaps see the errors of your ways and do a bit of good with your life from here on out.
I suppose we'll see that.
She'll nod. I certainly hope so, for my contract, my writ from the king himself tells me that if I find a pirate out here twice, I am well within my rights to end their lives. If I find you out here again, performing acts of piracy or associating with pirates, I will not hesitate to hang you from gallows until you are dead, dead, dead. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
She'll nod. Certainly would be a waste of your kind. As your people usually have a very high potential for great deeds that come at the benefit of others.
I've
And
certainly.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, Asadi just says I've certainly heard about that.
She'll nod. And from there, it's a pretty typical series of events, at least those you've heard it. This is your first time probably ever being imprisoned or caught by a kingdom. By your lucky graces, you were caught by the kingdom of Coramel, and they don't have a piracy as a uh, as a capital offense unless it involves murder. And since your crew and yourself do not have any warrants out of those kinds, you are not strung up by your neck until dead, dead, dead. Instead, you were quickly tried and found guilty. Question:
Yeah.
does she plead? Does she confess her guilt, or does she just let the trial go through?
She's like 300% a pirate. Like, there's like enormous amounts of evidence for that. Like, she'll probably just
She'll,
plead.
she'll probably what?
She'll probably just plead guilty.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a d10 and then whatever the result, minus 2 out of it. But it can be no less than 1.
Ooh. 7.
So Thadi, you served 7 years in a prison camp. With some rough and tumble individuals, but you make some connections here and there. You spend most of that time wearing manacles that prevent you from using your magical talents, of course. But when you're released, it's probably about 2 months before a major event goes on in a town to the northwest known as Gwendolyn, called the Monster Harvest, where it's a good place to make money, make coin, and network with other adventurers and whatnot. And when you make your way to that town, if that's where you go, maybe you stay in Coramel for a while. But through a series of events, you do happen to chance on a very hot winning streak. Which is followed up with you losing nearly all of your amassed gold, but you do happen to have a sharp enough tongue and a quick enough wit that a ship's captain not wanting to be outdone by a woman and not be outdone by what he assumes is a landlubber, he puts his ship up in this game of dice. And explain to me what happens when you roll a 91 to his 3.
So they were playing the equivalent of poker. And this is one of those times where, you know, Asadi has a decent hand. You know, it's not bad. Shouldn't know what the other dude has. But she manages to convince him to fold. And when she shows exactly what she's got, there's probably a quick little bar fight. Reaching over the table, trying to hit her. Maybe a couple of arcane blasts. A threat of lay a hand on me. You will be literally reduced to ashes. As well as probably look at some of his crewmates saying, so take me to my new ship.
And they take you to your ship. And they get you acquainted with it. And as the days go on of you getting to know your crew, they let you know that Wetterland is a great place to find coin and find hints about treasures here and there to perhaps find. And they highly suggest while they stock up and do repairs on this ship, which is in a bit of a state of disrepair, it'd be a good way for you to sort of get your feeling for Enthate and the waters around it.
Sounds good. What the hell was he doing with it?
Wasn't exactly all that bright of a captain.
Shit.
He wasn't all that bright, and well, as you saw, it was sort of kind of played out directly in front of you. Kind of a man folds when he bets his ship.
Fair.
But all's well that ends well. We couldn't have done any worse, I suppose. And having a magi as a captain has its benefits, I suppose. But yes, we'll take care of it. You head on down to Gwendolyn. Boys will be by not much longer. Maybe about a week behind you.
Oh, I didn't catch much of that last part. My bad.
He said that the rest of the boys would follow, and they'd be there probably. They'd probably bring the ship to port in about a week.
We shall say. Sounds good.
And I think there is a fine place to call an end to this 0 episode. So thank you, player, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a great evening.